Hey guys, it's Carlos again with Real Sales Dynamics. We're going to be doing the second part of the reaction vid to Fox News' segment on solar scams. Daddy's going to need a whiskey with this one. Of course, I take it with ice because I'm not a savage. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get it started.
To the IT now. Powering your home with the sun is not cheap. And to help bring down the costs for home solar, Congress approved a big 26% tax credit, money you get directly back on your taxes.
But a hidden camera Fox 5 I-Team investigation shows how some companies leave customers wrongfully thinking they qualify. Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis returns.
All right, guys, so just before they get started, and they're probably going to explain it a little bit, just so you know about the tax credit, is a federal tax credit, not a rebate. It is not a guarantee that the customer is going to get money after they go solar. That's why you need to check to see if they have any kind of taxable income. Do you get into huge detail about the tax credit with the customer? No, you allow that information to be dealt with them and a registered CPA or someone who deals with those types of finances.
Now with more of his investigation. Randy?
Yeah, Courtney, wrongly thinking they qualify, but then later finding out they're stuck paying the whole bill. And by then, you guessed it, it's too late to cancel. You feel you were taken advantage of?
Yeah. Lied to. I hate a liar.
Charles Schwabel lives by himself in this cluttered corner of Haralson County, happily puttering around on his various projects.
Happily puttering around with his various projects. I mean, they're just making this guy look like a schmuck.
The latest is solar. It's not one of his favorites.
It feels like you got taken to the cleaners.
He signed up with Solar Titan USA, spending more than $71,000 because he thought it would reduce his power bill by as much as 90%. Charles says that never happened, and neither has the other big promise.
So you were counting on that tax credit to help make this affordable?
Yeah, like paid off in 7 years. Now it's like a 20-year ball and chain.
Okay, so just like quick little bit of information here. You can Google how a tax credit works and it takes you like 5 seconds. Okay, I understand if you're a solar representative, you have to explain these things to the customer. But literally, if a guy just tells you, hey, you're gonna get $22,000 back on your taxes and you don't pay anything in taxes, you should probably know something's up. I mean, maybe.
The federal government has tried to make solar more affordable. These companies will promise that you can get back 26% of the sales price as a federal tax credit. And that's true. But there's an important fact that they did not make clear to some of their customers or us. That's Amy and Nathan Tatra's house in Lafayette, when they agreed to pay Power Home Solar more than $90,000.
And they're back to the same customers they used from the last episode. So you'd think with the thousands and thousands of installs and scams that have been going on all over their great state, they would have found more than 3 customers.
They say the salesman promised they'd get that full tax credit, more than $23,000, to lower the cost.
They're wrong. My husband is a disabled veteran. We don't have tax liability.
They know I was a disabled veteran.
Did they ask you whether you had any taxable income?
No, none whatsoever.
Both did sign contracts that warn the tax credit is not.
Yes, when you're making all of your money off of the government, you're not going to get more of your government money back. Not a huge shocker. So a question just kind of arises in your mind. It has to be, why wouldn't the homeowner bring it up, right? Like say, hey, I'm a disabled veteran, I don't bring any taxes. So he thought he was just going to get an additional $23,000 that would come out of magic? Come on, let's think about these things. Sometimes there is a little bit of responsibility that has to be taken by, I don't know, consumers.
Not guaranteed. Amy and Nathan's had it on page 7. The warning is on page 8 of a 27-page packet that Charles got. They all insist it was never clearly explained.
If they told you that you did not qualify for the 26%, would you have bought this?
Absolutely not.
That's all we're trying to do is get you to own your power.
When we invited Power Home Solar to give us a...
So within a contract, there's literally a paragraph there where it explains to you it is not a guarantee that you're going to get a tax credit. You'd think if you're going to be signing for something that's $71,000, you would read like one little paragraph on there.
Price for solar on this house, the salesman blew past any tax credit warnings.
Now, the only qualification you need is to pay federal taxes. Do you pay federal income tax?
On disability.
You still file taxes at the end of the year?
Yes.
They take federal income tax out of you?
Yes.
Okay, so you qualify. That's all that matters.
It's not all that matters.
He's not a qualified CPA. The customer, who's a liar right now, this is not a real customer, just said, yes, I pay federal income taxes at the end of the year. Okay? So she did an omission of information, and then they're trying to hold the representative liable for that lie. Who's the real crook here?
In order to keep a low monthly payment, companies like Power Home Solar require you turn over the entire tax credit to the finance company within the first 18 months.
The system itself is 69999. After your tax credit, it's going to be about 51. The tax credit's 18,200.
But remember, you can only qualify for that full credit if you pay that much in federal taxes that year.
Because they don't explain it accurately. They're just telling you that it's a guarantee, something that you're going to get.
Power Home Solar says it fired our salesman, and because of other complaints across the country, is now putting new systems in place to monitor sales staff and make sure they're telling customers the truth. The company, now called Pink Energy, will also...
God, I would never work for a company called Pink Energy. I mean, it's just like so over the top. We're pink and we're green.
...extend the cancellation period from 3 days to 7. And it agreed to remove the Tetros system for free, cancel their contract, and refund any payments they've already made.
My tax, I said, that's only if you owe. That comes off your tax bill.
Charles is still stuck with his $71,000 system. A spokesman for Solar Titan USA wrote, "We are not tax experts and cannot make claims to who does and does not qualify." The company believes there are enough warnings in their contract and the one from the finance company to protect their customers, even if the sales pitch was far too sunny.
Now, in a statement, Solar Titan USA said it's, quote, committed to taking care of our customers and getting all projects complete. And we encourage any of our customers who have concerns to reach out to us directly. So, reach out to them directly and tell them you heard it here.
Would it be a good idea to check with your utility company to find out if you can qualify for these credits before committing to thousands and thousands of dollars?
Absolutely. In fact, all the...
Yeah, so checking in with your own utility company is a good thing to do. Half the time they have no idea what the heck they're talking about, and in a lot of cases, utilities will actually just go ahead and start talking really badly about solar companies as a whole. In areas like in San Diego, California, it's estimated that every single time a customer goes solar, it ends up costing SDG&E out there $200,000. So you guys are doing God's work whenever you're taking money out of those terrible corporations out there and changing the way that the energy landscape is working out in the United States right now. But as I mentioned earlier, this is just another reason why it makes a lot of sense to have multiple products that you can sell to customers depending on the situation. In many of these markets, you can sell leases or power purchase agreements to customers rather than a loan. What that means is this. The solar installer, when they install the system, they're essentially buying the system for the customer. They get the full tax credit, the installer, and then they pass those discounts on to the customers in these situations. This is why it's a problem whenever you have sales reps who are saying loan is the only way or cash options are the only way, leases and PPAs are just scams and they're bad. No, they're not bad whenever this customer doesn't have any taxable income and they want to be able to get the most amount of discounts possible in their situations. If you're in a situation where you're in a state where you can sell leases and power purchase agreements and you're working with a sales company that's not offering those and that same company is telling you bad things about leases and power purchase agreements, maybe the reason why they're talking badly about those things is because it's a product that they don't sell. It's the same things as representatives speaking incredibly badly about batteries as being portions of installations because those sales guys don't actually sell batteries. So of course they're going to talk about badly about something that they don't sell themselves. This is where knowledge can be power in many of these situations. Okay?
People I've talked to so far who've had problems with these solar power companies, they took the first bid. I mean, the salesperson came in, they were impressed, they schmoozed them, and they signed on the dotted line before they really took an opportunity to find out if what they were telling them was true. And so, yeah, don't take the first bid. Even if you like the salesperson, get multiple bids, and then you can compare them. As the guy said earlier in our story, in part one, that's when the truth serum comes out, right? And then check with your utility company to make sure that what you were just told is indeed the truth, because they can spare you some heartburn in this case.
Okay, all of that makes sense, but it seems to me that a salesperson should take particular care not to take advantage of a disabled veteran.
Absolutely, especially because both of these companies say they give you military discounts off the top. So yeah, they say that they love the military, but yeah, in both these cases, there were some disabled veterans who were taken advantage of.
And the company immediately fixed the situation, removed the panels for those customers who weren't smart enough in order to actually read the documentation. Well, guys, that's about as much of these Fox News segments as we're going to be going over. I tend to like doing some of these reaction videos only because there's so much information out there regarding solar that's not correct. I mean, and we find that on the doors on a consistent basis, you know. We'll knock people's houses and they'll just say, well, solar is a scam. It can't even save you any money. It can't even, it's actually incredibly bad for the environment, or yada, yada, yada. It's going to end up costing you $100,000 up front. And they tell you one thing and it's not another thing, right? There's all these smoke screens and misinformation that's out there. And I want to help clarify that. And one of the ways we can do that is by attacking the people who are giving out the most amount of propaganda. Because in cases like this, we know exactly who these news segments are geared to go towards. It's going to be the people who are watching these types of local news shows, older folks, in a lot of cases, the very types of customers that a lot of you guys are having the most amount of issues with when you're going out. One of the ways, though, that you can clear this up and prevent things in the future is by nipping these things in the bud. One of the things we like to talk about at Pacific United Power is every pitch should be proactive rather than reactive. And what that means is that we're handling objections prior to them coming up so that we can be the figure of authority in every one of these situations rather than reacting to every single thing possible as it comes towards us. That puts us in a place in which it looks like we're not the one who are actually owning the frame and we're not the ones who are actually in power. In order to remain in power is to remain educated and to know things like this are out there before you're going out in the doors, or now that you're already out in the doors, make sure you're consistently getting in good information. So if you want to find more great information regarding solar, I recommend checking out these two videos. YouTube tells us that you're going to like them a lot. Make sure you can check us out on Real Sales Dynamics, and you can find me at The Wolf of Solar on Instagram. Talk to you guys soon. Make sure to click like and subscribe.